Hey guys, it's Matt here from PlaiOfficial. Today I'm going to be showing you a guide to ret pallies. Now for a start, there's one add-on that you pretty much need to be a decent ret pally. Some people say, oh, if you have this add-on you need to learn to play. You don't really, because most of the number one ret pallies in the world use this add-on. The add-on's called CLC Ret, and you're going to be seeing it in pretty much every video clip I show you. It's dead bang in the middle of the screen, and pretty much it gives you a rough guide of kind of your rotation, what you need to push next, also the cooldown on things, and the best thing about it is it just means that you don't need to keep watching your Inquisition. Now your rotation as a ret pally is probably the most complicated out of all of the DPS classes, I reckon, because there's a pretty big priority system of what you need to do and when. So the main priority is you keep your Inquisition up all the time. You know, as soon as the fight starts, go and get 3 holy power, get that up right away. After that, when you have the proc for 3 holy power, you're going to want to be using your Templar's Verdict. Then it's Crusader Strike, then Judgment. The reason you use Judgment after Crusader Strike is because, assuming you have your 4 set, it also gives you holy power. After that, normal Templar's Verdict with 3 holy power, Hammer of Wrath, Exorcism, and then Holy Wrath. If you can't remember all of that, don't worry, just use the CLC Ret add-on and it will pretty much give you a rough idea of what you need to do. When you get more used to a ret pally and when you get better at it, you can kind of customize your rotation a bit to do what bestly suits you. Now for AoE, your rotation wants to be exactly the same as before, except you simply replace Crusader Strike with Divine Storm. AoE, by the way, has to be on 4 mobs or more, otherwise your Divine Storm won't grant you any holy power. Your cooldowns as a ret paladin are going to be Zealotry, Avenging Wrath, and Guardian of Ancient Kings. Zealotry, to be honest, is probably your strongest cooldown, as with the set bonus from the tier 13 gives you 18% damage, and also whenever you Crusader Strike it gives you 3 holy power. So basically, when Zealotry's up, you want to be doing Crusader Strike, then Templar's Verdict or Inquisition, depending on how long your Inquisition has left, and in between that you just want to do any filler. Guardian of Ancient Kings, I would suggest using that during Bloodlust, so sometimes you might be able to squeeze it in twice in an encounter, such as Madness of Deathwing. You might be able to use it a few times in there, but I would suggest using that in Bloodlust. Avenging Wrath, just pretty much, I like to use that every time it's on cooldown. However, do not stack Zealotry in Avenging Wrath unless it is a really hard burn phase. Also bear in mind that Zealotry is probably best used during Bloodlust, so keep it on cooldown, but if possible try and time it with the Bloodlust, because while Bloodlust is up, more than likely you'll be able to do Crusader Strike, Templar's Verdict, Crusader Strike, Templar's Verdict, and so on. It gives you pretty insane damage. Ret Paladin's burst damage is more RNG than anything. If you get a lot of Art of War procs, which is when your Exorcism procs, then you can do like really high burst damage. However, most of the time people like to think of ret pallies as sustained burst, as if you chain your Guardian, then your Avenging Wrath, then your Zealotry, you have almost about 40-50 seconds where cooldowns are constantly up. Pretty much also a third of the time you should have at least Avenging Wrath or Zealotry up, so a third of the time you've got a really strong cooldown running. In between those cooldowns you just gotta make sure you try and keep your DPS as high as possible. The stat priority for a ret pally is Strength, 8% melee hit, 26 expertise. You can glyph your Seal of Truth to give you 10 expertise as a base, then Mastery, and then you can pretty much choose between crit or haste. I prefer to choose crit over haste, just simply because when Bloodlust is up, haste sometimes you have so much of it from the bloodlust that the haste kind of diminishes on itself. However, if you're really struggling and you find yourself having a lot of downtime, then I suggest probably picking haste over crit. Now ret pallies have a pretty strong cookie cutter build, and for the highest DPS this is pretty much the exact build. You could go into, I guess, selfless healer and last word if you want more of a soloing ret spec, but apart from that there are no other talents that give you a viable DPS increase. For ret paladin glyphs, for the prime ones you're going to want Templar's Verdict, Seal of Truth and Exorcism. These, to be honest, are just bog standard glyphs, you know. There aren't really any others that match up to the same potential as these. Your major glyphs, however, there are none of them that really give you a DPS increase, so it's all preferential. I've chosen to have Holy Wrath, Cleansing and Divine Plea. And then again, your minor glyphs, none of them give you a DPS boost, so I've just got Seal of Insight, Blessing of Might and Blessing of Kings in there.